This is One Sentence News, a daily podcast featuring 3 news stories with a sentence-long summary and 1 sentence of context apiece. I'm Colin Wright. It's Friday, July 1st, 2022. Let's talk about the news. From the Associated Press, Supreme Court limits EPA in curbing power plant emissions. The U.S. Supreme Court has voted 6-3 to limit the degree to which the Clean Air Act applies to power plant carbon dioxide emissions, in turn limiting the degree to which the Environmental Protection Agency can regulate such emissions. This is just one of more than a handful very controversial rulings the conservative-weighted Supreme Court has handed down over the past few weeks, but it's also considered to be one of the more substantial, as it basically says the EPA does not have broad authority to regulate greenhouse gas emissions from power plants, which will make it far more difficult to pass legislation meant to stave off the worst impacts of climate change, and calls the Biden administration's aim to cut such emissions in half by the end of the decade into question. Congress can still pass laws that would accomplish essentially the same thing, but the EPA can no longer do so without Congress's express go-ahead, and this is considered to be a significant blow because Congress is fractured and polarized enough that it doesn't get a whole lot done these days. The justices heard arguments on this case, as it turns out, on the same day a new United Nations report warning that the impacts of human-amplified climate change are about to get a lot worse was released. From the New York Times, an FCC commissioner pushes Apple and Google to remove TikTok from their app stores. A Republican member of the U.S. Federal Communications Commission has sent a letter to Apple and Google asking them to either remove TikTok from their respective app stores or respond with their rationales for why they haven't done so. This is notable in part because TikTok is the fastest growing social network in the US, especially amongst young people, but also because it demonstrates that there's still concern in some corners of the political and regulatory world that TikTok, which is owned by a Chinese company, might be sending user data back to China, something TikTok denies doing, and which President Biden decided wasn't too big a concern in mid-2021 when he revoked former President Trump's ban on the social networking app, replacing it with a new process that allows regulators to more easily scrutinize such risks. The former president's solution was to coerce TikTok to start using US-based tech company Oracle's cloud infrastructure for US-based user traffic. Oracle's owner is a staunch Trump ally, but the possibility of an outright ban in the United States has been resurgent in the past few weeks following a BuzzFeed article in which a member of TikTok's Trust and Safety Department said that folks in China have access to everything on the network, despite what the company's head of public policy told the Senate Commerce Committee in 2021 following that transition to Oracle's servers. And from Reuters, crypto crash threatens North Korea's stolen funds as it ramps up weapons tests. The ongoing collapse of crypto assets has reportedly wiped out a significant portion of the wealth stolen by North Korean hackers, according to 4 digital investigators. This is important because North Korea is in the process of updating its nuclear weapons program, and hacking to steal crypto assets is a fundamental source of funding for that program. It's estimated that some of North Korea's online caches of stolen crypto wealth have lost as much as 80 to 85% of their value over the past few weeks, and North Korea reportedly uses black market brokers to convert their crypto assets into cash, which means they sell at a discount, even in boom times. So that aforementioned 80 to 85% drop in value might be a practical underestimate because of the additional costs inherent in basically laundering their stolen funds. If you're finding some value in One Sentence News, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and/or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com, and you can support this and other related projects like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts at understandery.com.